What's going on, guys? BrewBart here, and today we have some of the footage from the unexpected live stream that Rocket 2 Guns did yesterday, Dean Hall did for DayZ Standalone. And I'm sorry if the video quality is not great. Unfortunately, my audio wasn't good, so I had to get rid of that. But since Rocket talked over it the whole time, I don't think I could use it really anyway. But the first screen I'm showing you is the character select screen, and it's where you select how your character is going to look. It seems that the team did put quite a bit of work into this, trying to make it so that you can customize your character to be exactly how you want it when you spawn in. I think this is good because it'll give people the chance to spawn in as a specific character different than the character that anyone else is going to choose. And in doing that, it'll allow you to identify your teammates a little bit easier. They did ask a question about grouping, like if you're going to be able to mark your friends or anything like that. Unfortunately, Rocket didn't have much of an answer for it. As you can see, he just clicked set default, so that's what he's always going to use anytime that he spawns in. And from what I understand, when you spawn in, your character is locked looking like that until you die and you start over, so it locks to your player ID. And I think this is going to be the start screen that they're going to use, because this seems to be the start screen that they've had since the beginning of the year. And we're just taking a look at him cycling through the different skin tones, the genders. He showed you a couple of the shirts, pants. So I do think this is a pretty nice addition because it'll make your character feel more like yours rather than in the mod where you just spawn in exactly how everybody else spawns in as a civilian military type character. And while we're waiting for this to go through, also the Rocket did stream for about an hour and a half, and I don't want to put the full video up because, as I said, my audio is no good and for copyright purposes, but there are people that do have just the straight live stream on YouTube. So if you did want to search that, you could definitely find that on there. Unfortunately, Rocket didn't enable the archiving of the video, so that's why we're working with the video here that's not in perfect condition, because I did have to record it live, and I was lucky that a friend of mine did actually do that. So in this part of the video, I just wanted to show you the user interface that they're using. As you can see, it's a little bit more friendly than the one that was in Arma 2. So he's showing you the bloom. Basically, the bloom is like how much the area around you brightens up and stuff like that. You have rotation blur, where if you move, it blurs everything out, which I can't really see anybody doing too much. And also he has field of view slider, as you can see there. Brightness and gamma works almost exactly the same as it did in the Arma 2. But hopefully I'm actually hoping that they change the gamma so that you can't actually move it, because that does give people yeah, see, it shouldn't do anything in my opinion, because it gives people an unfair advantage at night, and he's just showing you disabling VSync should give him more frames per second. This was a little further into the video, the whole video. I just wanted to put it here so that we could group the menus together. But it does look like the user menus are a little bit more friendly than they were, and hopefully they have more of an effect on the way that your computer works with the game so that it runs a little bit better. And this is where he does the field of view. It's a little weird. It doesn't seem like a true field of view because he zooms in and out as he changes his field of view. But I'm not 100% sure if that changed the way it looked. Like, did it actually make, let's wait for him to change it. Yeah, see, it's like a zoom in, zoom out, which is a little bit weird. All right, and we're back to where we left off. I just wanted to put this in because it shows that you can get onto like direct buses. It shows that they tried to make a lot more enterable items, buildings. He did show an example of a couple buildings that still haven't been worked for an interior. I'm not sure if they're going to make them work for an interior, but I thought it was cool that you can get on and off the broken down buses. He said that there's supposed to be loot in there, but there's not. Also, he showed us a lot with the melee system. There's a lot of new items. Like you could see, he picks up the fire extinguisher, and you can actually hit people with the fire extinguisher and use that as a melee item. It seems like they added a lot of different melee items because they're trying to make it more civilian-like than military-like. And also, this is after he had died. He spawned back in, and everybody spawns all together. So a couple of the other testers were there. So this was a good example where they showed you the punching melee system. I'm really excited that they added this in because it gives people a chance that don't have a weapon. Also, he's talking here about the action menu where you open and close the doors using that scroll wheel. He wants to do a thing where like you hit the thing and it opens up. Basically pry it open rather than that scroll action menu to open items. And this is one of the buildings that he wants to show that isn't enterable. So I hope that they do work some of these buildings to be enterable. And I just wanted to leave this part in because you can actually see, I think this is where there's a saying in the bottom right, bottom left, where it's showing the text alerts. When he picked up the fire extinguisher, you could see it said your head hurts. That's because he was getting hungry and thirsty. And as he was going along, he didn't have any food or drink, so he couldn't fix this, and he actually ran out of blood and went unconscious. This took about 12 minutes, so they were basically talking for 12 minutes while the unconscious screen was up. So it does seem that they need to fix the blood loss while you're unconscious and not eating. They really need to change it and make it so that, like, if you run out of food, you die a little quicker, because 12 minutes is a little crazy. All right, so in this part, this guy is bleeding. As you can see, he's bleeding out of a spot. And the guy took his shirt off so that he could rip it up and turn it into bandages. And we see some of the way that the melee system works and how the zombies react and how they attack. They don't seem overpowered like they thought they were going to be able to do, running inside, jump attacking, and stuff like that. It does sound like they're going to still working on some of the animations and some of the way that this stuff works. But as you can see, some of the collision is weird. And in that last video that Rocket showed, he said that it didn't come across. But what he wanted to show was that the collision with the melee weapons and how it connects with the enemy. And this is just more about how fighting. As you can see, it's a little dangerous right now with the melee weapons when multiple people are attacking. But this shows you the crafting system where he's ripping up his shirt, turning it into rags so that he could basically bandage his wounds. And if you look behind the inventory, there's a really cool bandaging animation where he actually is like bandaging his arm. I thought this was a big leap forward from the previous one. And as you can see, the ragdoll effects when he hits it, this was something that he put a big focus on for some reason. But yeah, and this is a really big part because this is where he shows you the weapon system. He shows you that the inventory has 3D modeling, like you can rotate the gun in your inventory. He shows you the attachment system. He did say that this clip that he drops on the ground is bugged right now. So there's still a lot of bugs that need to be worked out before it's released. So I wouldn't say, I mean, it's good that he shows all this stuff because it shows you that he's comfortable enough to live stream the product, but it does seem that he's not comfortable enough to release it. So with this, he's showing you the bullet. He's showing you how you can load one bullet into the chamber. So this was a pretty big deal because it shows you how you drag and drop. Basically, he's going to put the one bullet in rather than having a magazine. So that's a big difference. And One of the reasons that this is significant is if you see a gun without a magazine, you usually would think that you're safe, but you can actually have one bullet to kill the people with. So he made a mention of that. And as you could see in the top, the zeroing for the weapon is changing there. And he showed a whole bunch of the different attachments. Um, People had scopes that he showed and things like that. But overall, the attachment system and the crafting system, while it's a little bit more complex, it does seem very intuitive. And there he's showing off the Payday 2 mask. So then there's also a Mosin on the ground. And there you can see the text-based alerts showing you how he feels and things like that. So I thought this part of the video is really cool because he shows you a lot of the different stuff for the weapon. Went over some of the attachments that you have, gave you some of the modeling for it, the inventory screen. So it really showed a lot of the different systems. And everything looks way more high quality than it did a couple months ago when they were demoing the games for different expositions. So this is where he shows you taking off all the different attachments, putting the scopes on, changing the stock that he had on the back, and as you can see, he can 3D rotate. It's a 3D model so that you could see the gun at different angles, attaching the different items to it, and I feel like it's just way better than the inventory system was without bog. It doesn't seem like it's gonna bog you down during the gameplay. Okay, and this is a part where he said it's not working 100%. You can use a pen and paper and write a note and put it on the floor. So I thought this was kind of a cool little addition, just for, um, and he was saying it adds your message to whatever else the other people wrote. So it's a persistent note where you can write on it. And he's showing you how to load and unload the ammo, which we have seen in some other dev blogs, but it is still really cool the way that the systems work, drag and drop, crafting and things like that. And this part shows you the collision issues that they're having with the melee. As you could see, the guy was swinging his axe and it was hitting everywhere else but the zombie. It was hitting all the walls. So that's gonna need some work, the melee system. So that's probably one of the big things that is holding it back. And right now they were working their way towards the Northwest Airfield, but unfortunately they never made it there. Rocket got a little lost and they just got separated. But he does show you that some of the performance still isn't perfect here. As you could see, he got disconnected and reconnected. But so it seems like that's really still one of the biggest things holding them back from the release is the optimization. There are some collision issues, and I don't know what it's called, but basically players appear and disappear when he's looking at them. I think that's because of optimization, and there's something else with the view distance that he was talking about where you can't always see like people running up to you. So that's going to need some work before it's released. And here he's showing you another melee weapon. This is a single-handed melee weapon. And that's really cool because he's putting in special animations for every item. So that's why the items aren't just being bulk loaded into the standalone. They're only loading specific items in where they have the animation, where it's working correctly, where all the attachments and everything are working like that. He was talking about bayonets for the Mosin, where you can attach the bayonet to the Mosin, or you can use it as its own knife. Also, he was talking about some of the clothing. They didn't add a ghillie suit, which they were talking about adding, but he's trying to figure out the best way to do that. And we're back to the gun here. And unfortunately, he fires off a round and trying to find his friends, but everything got all messed up. He had the kill script in from when he was unconscious, so they did all spawn back at the beginning. But overall, I mean, this video showed us a lot of things. It showed us what's still broken, but it also showed us what they've added, and they have made a lot of progress. One of the biggest issues with the way that they're doing this is, to me, it seems like they have a lot of what's called project creep, where things come up and they have to add them in. It doesn't seem like there was a set deliverables idea. So again, they're showing the handcuff system, the hostage system, and she can actually stand up and walk around, and that's a pretty big thing. So this guy handcuffed her with the handcuffs he had in his inventory. She can actually stand up and move very slowly, and does have an opportunity to break free. You'll see. She breaks free, and now she can move normally. And you are limited while you're handcuffed, so your actions are limited. And now they're boxing. So just showing off some of the melee system. And then one of these guys does kill Rocket. But like I was saying, it shows you that the game is not ready for release in their eyes. There is a lot of collision issues. There's a lot of things that need to be fixed. There's a lot of things that Rocket is still looking to add. Apparently these things that he wants to add aren't prolonging the project. It's more just the optimization, the bugs, the network bubble that they're still working on trying to get it straightened out. But I don't know where we stand. I still don't know where we stand on the release for this game because no one is giving a date. Unfortunately, it's all up to how the team feels, where the game stands, and I mean, I don't know how broken everything is because I didn't get to play it. I just got to watch it. But I do hope that you did enjoy this video. I hope my talking wasn't too boring. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button because I do a lot of DayZ coverage, a lot of different game coverage. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for stopping by, guys.